So we're going to talk today about something that everybody is going to be participating in. And we've talked about it before, and I think in some offices or locations or departments it gets carried off great. In other places, it's really not happening. And this is something that everybody in the office is going to participate in. And if you find that you're not participating in it, either you don't belong here or you're part of no team. Okay, so ask yourself that. Do I belong here? Am I part of the team? If you are, then you're going to participate in this, which is the daily huddle. So I talk about what the daily huddle is, okay? I don't care if you're in the marketing department, in the shipping and receiving department, in the hair transplant department, in the surgery department. The daily huddle is something that we're going to do every day, and it should take no more than 15 minutes, preferably less than 15 minutes, substantially less. You should maybe put a timer out, where you are doing it not during production hours. You might do it at the beginning of the day. Maybe your departments can't do it at the beginning of the day because you have people coming in at different times, but that's where you stop what you're doing and you communicate with each other, okay? And the purpose of this is to create a rhythm of meetings so you can share information. And you might say to yourself, yeah, but I'm working with this person all day. I can just tell them that. It doesn't happen. You might think it's going to happen, but in reality, the patients are getting in the way of you communicating with each other, okay? So we're talking with our patients or on the phone if you're in the phone center and you don't really communicate with each other, okay? So there's three key elements that make up what goes on in the daily huddle. Okay, in some cases we've had huddle sheets and some information, but these are the key elements. Number one is what's up. So what's up in the next 24 hours? Because it's a daily huddle, it should not include something more than 24 hours. Maybe if we're like, moving to a new location, that would be 2 months out, we might mention that in the daily huddle, but that might be more of a weekly office meeting, okay? So what's up in the next, we'll say 24 hours. So that's like what's up today in our schedule, okay? Like yesterday, we knew we had a huge number of new patients and we got a lot of surgeries going on. That was maybe a good time to decide how we're gonna handle that. The next thing is, what are the metrics? For some of the staff members, it's really obvious because you've got a bonus and a super bonus. For surgery, it might be like how they're doing on the monthly bonus, how are we doing on, say we have in the surgery department, we're looking at, say, expenses. Are we wasting, supplies? For, let's say, billing, it might be how are we doing on accounts receivable? How are we doing on collecting co-pays? Okay, so what's up, the metrics, and what's standing in your way? What's the block? So the block is what are the hurdles you're facing that need to be overcome. And sometimes you see these big hurdles like it's just really busy today, what are we going to do? But you might be able to work together how you're going to overcome it. So if I go to the cosmetic and vein huddle when I can in Shelby, and I attend other huddles as well. But the what's up is they look at their schedule and what's going on, maybe some new special we're offering, so they give the heads up on everybody what's going on with the new special. Some product information that we're trying to sell, some of the estheticians will kind of feature a product. Maybe Paula talks about how we changed the weight loss program. She gave us an update on that the other day. And if she didn't do that during the huddle, she would have told me and maybe one or two other people, but the whole group of the huddle would not have known about it, okay? Then the metrics. In that same group, they look at, okay, we've got 70 people scheduled for today and we got 12 rooms. We got to somehow get 12 rooms filled with 70 people, so we have to turn those rooms over or sharing them with dermatology. And we got a goal of X number of dollars and a super goal for the whole office doing it this much. So if we're short on derm, we might be talking to patients about when's your last annual derm exam so they can get, build up the derm business. And what's your roadblock? In some cases, the roadblock is, we have too many patients. Okay, well, we got to make sure we hit the metrics, and we got to make sure we know what we're going to do during that day to achieve these things. So the roadblock might be something that you got to fix, like IT's not doing their job on getting the computer working. I see that as a common roadblock where I was in the room today, maybe today's like a non-working day for me. I did some surgery and I'm mostly conducting business. But I was in 3 rooms today where the computers weren't on. It took a while to boot them up. One of them, the mirror wasn't working on. So that's a roadblock that we can discuss during the huddle. Maybe assign somebody to meet with the IT department to get those things fixed. I was in Southgate, and I was wondering why Southgate has very few magic lifts done. And I logged on there, and there's no no magically photos in a photo book, so that's something we can deal with and fix. And that's something during the huddle you might bring up. You might bring up problems from the prior day. Because if you mention them, let's say to your supervisor, your coworkers during the day when you're busy, the production did not allow that part of that information to sink into your brain. Okay, so you heard it, didn't really do anything about it. You really couldn't do anything about it at 7 o'clock at night when patients are just being thrown at you as fast as they come. You can't really deal with, let's assign somebody to talk to IT about this tomorrow, or let's assign somebody to talk about redoing the schedule. So your huddle should be made up of a team that you're working with every day. And the biggest prejudice we have is that, well, we're already talking to them. Like in billing, you might say, we're sitting next to each other all day. Why do we need another 5 or 10 minutes? Because you're making a deliberate effort to communicate, and communicate these 3 things. If you don't know what your metrics are, you should come up with them. You should figure out how do you measure your job? It's not just showing up to work and punching in. That's how you get compensated, and that's how we track you. But the metric is, what are you doing during the day? And then for the marketing department, it might be, meeting with the call center and how the call's coming in, and what are people asking about that we're not offering. And this should be done every day. Okay? So the huddle is here to stay, and we're going to change our meeting rhythm a little bit. This next coming weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, we're having some experts come in to help us working on our meeting rhythm. It's called Scaling Up. It's based on a book called The Rockefeller Habits that we read a few years ago as a group. And the Rockefeller Habits was about the fact that J.D. Rockefeller, he was probably the wealthiest man in history. He set up a business based on, as you know, railroad and stuff, but he set up a business based on certain principles, which was habits of meeting and communication. And that's something that gets lost in a practice as we get bigger and bigger, is that we're not communicating properly. Where I'm communicating with people I'm working with maybe, but then the people that maybe I don't see as much don't get access to information, and vice versa. And you might something you want to share with the group, but unless you have a forum to share it with the group the next day when you're thinking about it, it's not going to happen. Okay? How big should the huddle be? As the huddle gets bigger, there's less ability to communicate. I talked about this morning when the front desk staff was having their meeting, is that the more people you have in a group, the less communication goes on. It becomes more of a lecture. So imagine you have 50 people in a group, they can't really talk to each other. It's going to be a lecture. If you have 3 people in a group, they can all talk equally. Google, who specializes in writing algorithms and capturing data, was trying to look at how to make teams more effective. And what was the most effective, say, pattern of a team? Well, was it because they were friends after work? Nope. Was it because they weren't friends after work? Nope. They could be like that, but that wasn't what predicted a good or bad team. Did they have the same educational background? Nope, that wasn't it. They could be a good or bad team regardless of their educational background. Were they the smartest people? Nope, that wasn't it. They could be smart people, be a good team, or smart people, maybe a horrible team. Were they all the same sex? Wasn't it. Was it their instincts and their Colby scores? Wasn't it. There was one thing that predicted whether or not a group or a team was effective or not. And it was consistent when they measured it over and over again. One thing, okay, that beat all others by far, is they all talked equally. Okay, so everybody in the group had something equal to share. It didn't matter what they were working on, how smart they were, their level of education, whether boys or girls, old or young, whether or not they were highly educated or beginning level education. The groups that communicated equally amongst the members were the most effective. Amazon has been famous for trying to make things happen really quickly and scale things up quickly. Has what they call a 2 pizza rule. Okay? Not only eating pizza, but the idea is if you're having a meeting, you can't feed everybody with 2 pizzas, your group's too big. Okay? So think about that in terms of the most effective teams are going to be ones that everybody communicates. So if we have a huddle and you just show up there, you got to work, and you're kind of frazzled, maybe run a little bit late, and you're just waiting there for somebody to give a lecture about what's going on for the day, versus the group that shares the what's up in the next 24 hours. Acknowledges the metrics. Maybe it's one person's reading the metrics, but acknowledges the metrics and talk about what they can do to achieve it, and then looks at the roadblocks and how to eliminate them. Those groups and those teams be the most effective. So that's the Friday focus for today. I want you to figure out which your huddle is. You might be involved in more than one. I'm certainly involved in more than one. And if you're not involved in the huddle, you're not part of a team. Okay, if you're not part of a team, you're not going to be here a long time. So that's the reality. We're developing teams. There's an ancient African proverb that says if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. Thank you. That's Friday Focus. Thanks.